I just woke up this morning. We ended up having a bonus stream last night, and I wanted to record this post and upload it for Monday to kind of share with you. Many of you hung out last Friday, and stream ended on time at 2, and you wondered how we went live again and suddenly had partner on Twitch. Um, Brian and I meet on the phone or remotely on like a video chat many days of the week after 2, but usually at least on Fridays, and we kind of get a chance to kind of decompress and say, hey, how do we think the week went? What do we have planned for next week? Just make sure we're on the same page because we try not to work on weekends. I got a little bit of work to do this weekend because I spent the second half of my Friday celebrating with you guys and watching BlizzCon and having a good time. And so I didn't get any of my work done. Gaming kind of course, is going to fall off again. We'll jump start it again on Monday. And I opened up my email, and actually the tab I had on my editing computer still had Twitch Partner as my filter because I was making sure our application went through. And there it was. And so Brian's chatting with me, and we're kind of talking about what's coming on the podcast and all that. And like, I very quickly throw up a scene, and you're about to see it. And like, just know, like, I was just quickly trying to throw our Discord stuff up. So like, his camera's screwed, my camera's screwed. It says Ethis under my name. Like, I was just throwing it up real quick because like, I was like, oh gosh, I need to be recording this. And I've regretted in the past when like something big happens in Brian and I's lives that affects the whole community, and I don't have the ability to share it with you guys. And so I hit record, and he's talking, and I already want to tell him, and so I'm letting him try to finish his thought, but like I need to go back and listen to it anyway. Thank goodness it's recorded, because I was like, in my head I was like, I want to talk, I want to talk, I want to talk. Like, there is nothing you could say about what our plans are for next week that is more exciting than what I get to say next. And like, I had butterflies in my stomach, and I actually like had trouble eating last night and was excited like hours and hours later. And so I clipped it because it went to the email I applied from, which is not an email we share. And so I went and I clipped just a screenshot of it and dropped it in his personal message. I said, hey, you mind taking a look at something for me? And that's when he looked. This is big news. It's this check mark is not Brian or I was streaming, and streaming was our primary gig, and we got it. I think that would feel a lot more of a personal achievement, a lot more of a sign of the work that I put in or the work he put in. And there is work that I put in. There is work he put in. He made a huge push last summer, and I've been full-time since January. And the schedule will continue. This wasn't just a partner push schedule. 8 to 2 CST, Monday through Friday, is still the plan. The difference is now there can be bonus streams. So you may see Brian live from time to time. You may see, when events happen like BlizzCon, you may see us live from time to time. Community nights may be streamed from time to time. We can do things in addition to the full-time streaming schedule. And because we've already been on YouTube long enough that the community has grown so much larger than just Brian and I, I just wanted to kind of state, as the face of the partner push, I just wanted to kind of state that this check mark behind the scenes has required an immense amount of work from Brian. Every YouTube video we record where I show up in Facecam, he edits, I send him a thumbnail, he titles it, does the description, schedules the upload, handles it. He said, what do you need to stay live all the time? And I said, I need Work to Game to just be done. And so I show up, and he handles the rest. I invite some of the podcast guests. He invites some of the podcast guests. One of us will write out the 3 topics. If whoever invited them will say, like, hey, these are kind of what I think we talk about. And then he runs the podcast, and he breaks it apart, and he uploads it. And then I just give him 3, 4, whatever thumbnails. If you ever feel like we're clickbaiting, he does the title, I do the thumbnail. So place blame accordingly. In most cases, that's how it works out. And occasionally, like, I don't even give him the thumbnail. And so you'll see a couple of our thumbnails have a little bit different font. And that's because he's trying to make a thumbnail that matches mine so it doesn't stand out. And so, like, an immense thank you to Brian for this push. I think we can have a healthier relationship of, like, how do we split things now? Because we were trying to just not rock the boat here. And now it's like, no, like, where do we want this to go from here? Full-time is still the goal, but now we can afford to, like, take risks with it. We can say, like, hey, one day a week we want to play this game with you guys. Like, we want to go back and play through Final Fantasy XII was in the news recently, right? Like, let's go back and play that. As we look forward to the moon, like, what if one of us wanted to play Final Fantasy IV on a certain night of the week? We could do that. And, like, I'm not saying those projects will happen, but those are conversations we couldn't even have. And this checkmark, the reason we wanted it is because there's things we want, like early access to games, invites to events, sponsorships, giveaways, things like that. That checkmark is a form of verification for vendors so that they don't have to sit there and get to know every single applicant. They can say, you know what, Twitch kind of handled this for us. If you don't have a check mark, we're not going to consider you. And so what this check mark meant to me, and I believe I speak for Brian at least a little here, is that Work to Game's already bigger than us. You guys run community events. There's tabs in our Discord that Brian and I don't even open. There's there's conversations that by the time we check on them, they've become this whole thing. There's people helping each other. There's people throughout this community that know things we don't and have relationships we're not involved in with each other. And it's so much bigger than us now that it's one of the reasons we have so many YouTube channels, because we're trying to let Work to Game be what Work to Game is. And we have a hand in that, a pair of them actually, but we're not the whole thing. And we realized at some point, like, we can damage what Work to Game is on YouTube if we just try to make it the Chris and Brian show. And so when, as a creator, we want to make something and it doesn't fit what Work to Game has become, which isn't what it set out to be, it's become something very different. It's a much more organic process. That's where the other channels come from. It's a place for us to upload things that we don't feel Work to Game wants, and then we tell you guys about them so that those of you that are like, hey, I want that too, can hit subscribe in more than one place. But we've just realized, like, YouTube kind of allows subscribe, not subscribe, bell, not bell, and those are your options. And so we want Work to Game to kind of be one thing, mostly one thing, and that allows, and it may change over time, but that change is just as much driven by, of course, the algorithm, but also you guys. You guys drive that. And so, outside of us sharing the login information and having you guys on this side of the camera, it's very much a dialogue. And so this checkmark to me was Twitch, who is currently the leader in streaming. Mixer had great features. YouTube has a great audience, but Twitch has done the best job marrying those things. It was them putting a stamp of approval, a stamp of authentication on a community that has already become a big enough part of my life that I'm now a full-time creator. And so that's where the frustration comes from when they denied me and said I lacked consistency in the first denial of this year, because I think to them it was, hey, you guys have streamed in the past and taken a break. Right from their side of it, it was, you guys have streamed in the past and then you've not streamed in the past. How do we know that this is real? And I get that. But from my perspective, it was very frustrating because it's like, no, I know I went full-time. My community knows I went full-time. And you're saying we lack consistency on a channel that has 2,000 posts. And none of that matters to them. And so, like, it was just that word had a different meaning in my life. And that's where that frustration came from. And that stamp is them saying, no, Work to Game is a real thing. When we join chats, streamers that know us will say, hey, is it Chris, is it Brian? Like, that name is always more than one person. It's always more than one thing. Brian and I both have personal Twitch channels we can log in on. We both have personal Discord logins we can log in on. Like, when we're on Work to Game, it's always more than one person. And so that check mark means all of this is in a verified state. And it's exciting to be there. On the YouTube side of things, when they say, hey, to unlock this feature, here's your requirements. When you hit those requirements, you're done. On Twitch, when you hit those requirements, you're allowed to apply. And when you apply, they take a certain number of applicants every month and they skim it off the top. And so it feels harder to predict. So we don't have a plan yet because we didn't know when we'd get this. But I just wanted to kind of sit down and tell you guys what this was like. And at the end of this video, there's going to be a clip of the actual reaction of me telling Brian that we got partner. So I wanted to kind of share this as a form of channel news and get this uploaded and kind of explain just some initial impressions in the wee morning, the day after, kind of what it means to us having slept on it. It feels like a big step forward. And I think it makes it feel more like Work to Game is an official thing. Having a verified streaming presence and having a verified YouTube presence, and us having our 2 personal channels, which are both doing incredibly well. It feels like this, I don't know, it just lends... It just better tells me that, like, okay, this year is a real thing. Like, full-time is not just... a 30-day window that I tried. It's a thing that I can do and we can have success at. And like on its own, it doesn't really mean more money. There's a couple little things they do, like credit card processing fees, affiliate. I believe they subtract those out before the split. So if you guys gave $5 to us on Twitch and your credit card company takes out 50 cents, then the 50-50 split really gives us $4.25 and Amazon $4.25. As opposed to, or $2.25 and $2.25, as opposed to now it would be $2.50, and they eat the so there's a couple of little things. It's more about what the check mark means to brands and to gaming companies, and yeah. And there's some features like squad streaming that we want to do as a form of collabing. Some of you have immediately assumed that we can now squad stream anytime we want. We can only squad stream with other people who also have the check mark. So I don't know how all that works, but we'll have to reach out to people as events come forward. Maybe we can do some squad streaming in the future. We've been invited to squad stream in the past, but they didn't realize we didn't have a partner. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's my thoughts. We'll probably have more thoughts, but I wanted to record this the day after it happened and then push it live whenever that makes sense with Brian. And now for the reaction.
Like whatever, because like I know you wanted to do the IGN interview and more, but you look like you could eat.
I do. I just wanted to, like, it's the end of the work week, and I just wanted to share something with you. Can you check your Discord real quick? I think I just sent you something.
You sent me a message?
Yeah, in the same place I send you thumbnails.
Dude.
I have been sick to my stomach this whole time. I just wanted to invite you in to have a casual conversation, and I have the same feel in my stomach that I did when I proposed to my wife. I have been sitting on this, trying to bring you in.
Congratulations.
We were just invited to partner, man.
Yes.
Sorry, dude. I don't have like a good setup. I'm recording this, but it's not set up properly. I just threw it up because I got this email. I can't. My whole chest.
Oh man,
you're gonna make me cry.
Just like so much effort. Well done, sir. Like that. Good
I
Lord.
wish I'd opened it on stream.
Oh man,
it's just my end of work week. Just check my emails to make sure we didn't have anything come in.
You have been just crushing it in your effort, and it's just like my whole like fear this whole time has been that like you get punched in the face, and then it's like, all right, Chris, try and go make content for your channel, and it's just like, okay, like what do they need from me? What do they need from me? And it's so vague and so like it just kind of felt like every time you applied, we're just like yeeting out into the universe, like just and then the thing is like you don't know if what's going to answer back is friend or foe, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude.
So
Holy
I'm going to come
crap.
be live again in 2 hours here on Twitch.
Yeah, there's no reason we can't anymore.
So I'm gonna take. I'm actually. So I'm gonna take an hour.
Is there anything we have to do? Like, is there?
Yeah. So I have to click a get started link here. So I've just clicked that.
Just finish that off,
Okay.
and tweet that out, man. Tweet it out because the community has been so wonderful.
All right. Agree to the
Everybody,
Twitch partner contract agreement. They got a big long thing saying that we got to do all of our stuff unique with them. It's really long.
yeah,
It. I'm agreeing. I just agreed.
cool.
Partner onboarding. Setup complete.
Can I drop new emotes into the slots now? Because we've only had like so little.
You're all set.
Emote.
No further action needed.
Did it refresh with our?
I don't know. Please pull up our Twitch channel. I don't know.
We got the check mark.
Okay,
Oh.
I'm gonna go get some food. I'm gonna go live again in an hour, and we're gonna hang out for an hour, and then we're gonna do the
I can stream to
BlizzCon.
Twitch this weekend if I've got time now. I could.
Okay,
Like,
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go tell my wife. I'm gonna go. I'm so sorry that I don't have the right names underneath me. It's just hit record on the first setup that was easy to record. I'm gonna go live in an hour, and we're gonna share this out. We're gonna have a bonus stream right from the get go. I told him in
Heck
my
yeah.
thing. You guys approve me. You're the only reason I'm not doing bonus streams here on Twitch. So
Yeah.
we're gonna go live here on Twitch. Do you? Yeah. I don't know. I can't find words.
Yeah, just go get some food, man.
I'm gonna go find
enjoy
some
it,
food.
and then come back. I'm gonna focus on work and do what I do until it's time for
Okay.
us to.
I'm gonna post a
yeah.
screenshot of the congratulations. I'm gonna take the get started box off. And
Yeah, that's great.
all
That's
right.
perfect.
Thanks, man.
Awesome. Good job.